WFWPI leaders, members, guests, and friends from around the world. Welcome to the annual 2022 WFWPI General Assembly. My name is Najat Shushain, and I am an artist from the UK. I'll be moderating the first part of today's assembly. Starting in 2020, the assembly has been held online, allowing more leaders and members to participate and interact with each other. This year, we will be hosting a healing meditation session and sharing the best practices from the field. We believe that each program will be meaningful and empowering and will help you gain new information and knowledge from your continued efforts in the field. So we're going to start our assembly with a meet and greet. Our staff will divide you into random groups so you can meet your international partners and colleagues. There is no specific topic, but you can introduce yourself and share your current big news and trends. There will be a total of 30 minutes for this session, and every 10 minutes we'll be changing the rooms randomly for you so you can meet more people. So enjoy your time communicating and making some new friends.
Hi, are we in breakout rooms?
We meet again too.
Gonna have to right now. For example, you know how the teach.
Comment tu l'as dit quoi? Isso.
niveau. Il fallait que je pousse encore les études.
asking me? Oh my God.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, nobody was talking for.
I was in, I don't know what's happening.
We are not talking because we are on the main group, but we needed to speak only in breakaway rooms.
It's not. You are muted.
Yeah, it's jumping. I don't by itself. I don't know why. Can I know where is the event?
Espera un poco. ¿Me permitís? Yo vengo y vos me...
It's going to be here, but for now it was the meet and greet session. So people were in breakaway rooms. I was in one and
Me too. I was in one, so I mean it's okay. Just to
They are.
Yeah.
Be preparing this.
then we'll all come back.
mm.
Everybody's coming back. Yeah.
Because how do you know when it?
It's a little bit confusing, I think, because I did the join breakout and then I find I see your.
It's interesting.
Seem to have come back to the old room, to the first.
Yeah, we're waiting for more people to join the main room.
Maybe we have to close the groups because they don't get out of it by themselves.
I would wait.
It's quite confusing. Some people didn't realize you have to come out of the rooms.
Yeah, so
we're having some technical problem and we're trying to close all the rooms, but it's not working now. So I think we will wait 1 minute more and then we will go with the main program. Thank you.
Or you can send them a message to each room.
Yes,
to leave the room and then come.
Send the message.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the live. So the technology always good, and so sometimes we have this kind of issue.
Yeah. No worries.
Right. Oh.
아직도 breakout session 하는 거예요?
아니 지금 테크니컬리 문제가 있어서 브레이크아웃 세션에서 빠져나와야 되는데 못 빠져나오고 있어요 지금. 그래서 하나하나 일일이 지금 보내고 있어요. 그래서 조금 더 하다가 그냥 시작할 거예요. We're gonna start soon because we have some technical issues. So meanwhile, if you can write your residence country name next to your name, that would be great. Then people know where you're from, where you're living. So like your name and comma, either comma or hyphen, you know, a comma is better. So I put my name, then comma, Hong Kong. Yeah. Please unmute your speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Da Costa from the Gambia.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. Very sorry about the technical issues that we have had, but I think most of us are back. And so, yeah, I hope you had some nice experiences meeting with different people. And now I would like to invite Dr. Paris Moon, International Secretary General of WFWP, to give an opening statement. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Ooh, thank you. Hi. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for a long time, as well as those who are new to the Women's Federation for World Peace International. So now I declare WFWP International General Assembly is officially open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moon. And now I would like to invite our International President, Dr. Julia Moon, to give our opening remarks. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, beloved leaders, members, volunteers, and friends of Women's Federation for World Peace. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Here in Korea, it is in the evening, yes. Welcome to the 2022 Women's Federation for World Peace General Assembly. Welcome, and I'm so happy to be with you, and I'm really, truly grateful for this modern technology that makes it possible for all of us to come together like this virtually from all over the world. I really enjoyed our breakout session. In 30 minutes, I was able to visit Kenya, Zambia, Thailand, Philippines, Burkina Faso, Chile, Australia, Canada, and Benin, and other countries without even getting on a plane. I felt like I was able to visit every single country in those short 10 minutes. But it was wonderful to speak with you, our members, and to hear about your work on the ground. And it was just inspiring, an inspiring 30 minutes to be able to speak with all of you. So thank you so much. As we commemorate our 30th anniversary this year, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you, our members and volunteers, for your beautiful hearts and your unchanging dedication, commitment, and courage to realize the WFWP vision of creating one global family. Some of the members are members that I spoke with in this breakout session, ranging from 3 years to many of them 20 years and more, working together with Women's Federation. So thank you, and thank you once again for all that you're doing for the sake of creating peace in this world and serving humanity. Dr. Hakjahan Moon, our co-founder, is also grateful to all of you and so very proud of the way that Women's Federation has evolved throughout these past 30 years by rising to challenges, building a strong platform and network of women leaders, of all of you working together all over the world. I would like to tell you that she is always with us in heart as she continues to lead by example. Today, we gather together to celebrate and to share our hearts and our experiences as we travel this journey together so that we may better realize our vision of creating a true culture of peace based on our founders' teaching of living for the sake of others. This year's assembly will feature presentations of best practices in various fields, surprise events, inspiring entertainment, and presentations by leaders who are pouring their knowledge, talents, and hearts into empowering their communities, nations, and the world. Your dedication and sacrificial service to humanity has become the thread that ties together thousands of humanitarian projects, conferences, and educational programs in more than 127 national chapters. We all know that the path towards world peace, justice, and prosperity for all is not easy, but it is indeed deeply rewarding. Dear WFWP members and leaders, when the world faced challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and beyond, WFWP immediately opened new doors to the online world to bring support and help to those in the fields. Virtual conferences and educational courses were launched to provide women leaders and members with knowledge on personal and organizational development. All courses were structured and created to meet the needs of those in the field, including sessions on IT, entrepreneurship, financial planning and budgeting, art creation, healing, meditation, and more. In addition, the new implementation of the WFWPI Global Committee Network has allowed not only the leadership, but also members of the 127 national chapters to become involved in international activities and offer on-the-spot advice and suggestions to improve the international headquarters operations and promotional activities. So in a sense, you helped us to help you so that we can serve you better. Thanks to the Global Committee Network, WFWPI has been able to successfully implement a variety of projects, including a webinar on women's entrepreneurship, the 30th anniversary book, and most importantly, the Young Professionals team. The Young Professionals team is an international creative think tank that practices cultural diplomacy to deepen mutual understanding among young people through exchanges of ideas, information, art, language, and other cultural aspects. It is also a network for young people to become better acquainted with Women's Federation's activities and to actively participate in international and regional projects. So this is a wonderful, Young Professionals team is a wonderful way to introduce Women's Federation to many, many young people throughout the world. And it is bringing in wonderful, talented young people to work together with our organization. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank the WFWP UN offices in New York, Geneva, and Vienna for their continued work to maintain our presence and influence at the United Nations. Together with Women's Federation Japan's many worldwide humanitarian projects, the UN offices have helped us maintain our general consultative status with the UN ECOSOC for 25 years. In 2021, as many of you already know, Mrs. Carolyn Hansen, the director of our WFWP UN offices, assumed the presidency of the NGO CSW in Geneva. Through this, we can see the tremendous effort and work of Mrs. Hansen and the UN offices, and how it is recognized by the UN and other NGO organizations. Mrs. Hansen not only directed the UN offices, but she also has been serving as the president of WFWP Europe, one of the most important regions with 27 chapters for the more than 10 years. Actually, I think it's 12 years altogether. But now in order to focus and create an even greater impact and influence at the UN, Mrs. Hansen will be passing on her role and responsibilities of president of WFWP Europe to our dear Miti Toma, who is the president of WFWP UK. Mrs. Hansen will continue her very important work as a WFWP International Vice President and Director of the WFWP UN offices. She will be a Senior Advisor to WFWP Europe, as well as WFWPI Board Member and IAFLP Regional Coordinator of EU-ME. I would like you to please join me in a warm round of applause to thank Mrs. Carolyn Hansen for her invaluable contribution, as well as encourage her in her continued work at the UN, and also welcome Miti Toma in her new role as WFWP EU President. So may we all applaud. Thank you, Carolyn. And we look forward to having you, Miti, working together with you as the new EU president. And we are grateful to have Carolyn as our senior advisor in Europe, and so that she can continue to pass on her incredible experience and knowledge to the next generation. So thank you very much. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you as well, who are making the world a better place through the small acts, small and big acts of kindness and empathy in your daily lives. Our world is becoming more and more closely connected, and conflict and war, which we see now all over the world, should not separate our hearts and our common dream of peace. Let us continue to raise our voices for unity and promote peace across borders. If we can care for others, we can make this world a better place for all. I would like to end my comments with a quote from Mother Moon, a very strong, caring woman who has dedicated her entire life to the cause of peace. After 52 years of marriage and partnership with her beloved husband, she became a widow in 2012. Rather than retiring from the work of peace, she stepped up and redoubled her efforts, leading WFWP and other world-level organizations with great dedication. She has never faltered. She spoke these words at the celebration of the 20th anniversary of WFWP. Even though the world today is filled with confusion and chaos, the women's peace movement of this federation, united under God's vision of true love, will soar to a whole new level. We need to strengthen our network with global women leaders for the expansion of the worldwide women's peace movement, and dedicate ourselves with the conviction that we can purify this world into a beautiful haven of peace, wherein God's ideal of creation is realized. Let us all walk the path of a true mother, a true daughter, and a true woman leader who can construct a united world overflowing with true freedom, peace, and happiness. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this General Assembly. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Dr. Julia Moon, for this important message. Thank you.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So I just want to say thank you, Dr. Julia Moon, for the important message that you gave us. And we're now going to move on to receive some opening remarks from our Senior Vice President, Dr. Sunjin Moon. But unfortunately, due to her busy schedule, the Vice President is unable to attend today, but she sent us this greeting video. Yeah.
Greetings, and depending where you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our dear WFWPI distinguished leaders, members, and guests. Welcome to the 2022 WFWPI General Assembly. Thank you for all attending this important event despite your busy schedules. Well, this year marks our 30th anniversary, and I would like to take the opportunity to once again congratulate and thank our leaders, members, and volunteers for their precious work and efforts. I am guided by the words of the WFWPI co-founders, "Women will save the world." I do believe that we can and we will be the balance this world desperately needs, and the force of goodness, love, compassion, aid, and wisdom to make that dream a reality. I know that as mothers, sisters, and daughters with feminine bonds, we are united with one common universal truth: to live for the sake of others in building the culture of heart. I am proud to say that despite the challenges of COVID-19 over the past 3 years, WFWP IHQ has introduced a new style of work, further exploring and developing the world of technology to support our leaders and members in different parts of the world. Also, they focus on members' well-being throughout the various online education sessions. Thanks to the technology and the bounty in the world today, we are able to contact, communicate, and educate one another in seconds, bringing our minds and hearts together despite our remoteness. To date, WFWPI has educated 35,000 women and girls for financial independence, 327,000 people for peaceful families, and WFWPI continues to provide in-person and virtual education platforms to empower families and women worldwide. In 2020, WFWP launched the WFWP Perspectives, educational series offering seminars, conferences, small group lectures on a variety of topics, including financial planning and budgeting, healing and meditation, technologies and NFTs, social marketing and strategies, women's entrepreneurships, and projects for peace and reconciliation, and many more. In October 2022, the WFWPI office related to UN activities organized the virtual event, The UN Dream, Creating an Environment Where Girls Can Be Girls and Not Brides. This was an insightful forum with a panel discussion featuring promising young leaders and global women for Peace ambassadors. WFWPI celebrated the 77th anniversary of UN Day and the 30th anniversary of WFWPI's founding, reflecting on the shared purpose of the UN and WFWPI, and hopeful for the long-standing challenges and solutions to be explored. Violence against girls cannot be solved without addressing the effects of climate change and other environmental crises. Therefore, in order to find sustainable and impactful solutions to address these issues of climate change and child marriage, WFWPI believes that communities should create a transformative and enabling environment for families to address the issues of child marriage by integrating their discussions into environmental adaptation initiatives. Since March 2020, WFWPI has done something to raise the awareness of the pressing issues of climate change and its impact on the peace and security for people and the planet. With the visionary leadership of our WFWPI co-founder, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, and generous donations from our immediate family and global family, we have raised funds through circular fashion to the amount to date to over $250,000 for noble humanitarian and environmental aid across the globe in a social venture project I founded, Giving for Good International. And finally, in celebration of its 30th anniversary this year, WFWPI has also published an anniversary book that includes a history of the organization and precious testimonies from WFWP volunteers who have never forgotten the vision and mission given to them by their co-founders and who continue to work tirelessly. There are not enough pages to express the tremendous achievements and efforts of WFWP in one volume. However, we trust that this book will remain a historical archive and an educational tool for the next generation of women leaders. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Carolyn Hansen, who retired this year after more than 10 years as International Vice President of WFWP Europe. Your work and your efforts will remain a legacy of love in Europe and for WFWPI. We look forward to continuing to work with you as a director of our Office for the UN Relations, WFWPI Vice President, WFWP EU Senior Advisor, WFWPI Board Member, and IAFLP Regional Coordinator for EUME. Thank you, Mrs. Hansen, for all your work. And my parents, who founded WFWPI and have worked tirelessly to uphold the frontline charge to ensure peace in every corner of the globe. They have devoted their lives and all funds to promote, unite, resolve, educate, and aid and foster multiple peace programs and charities devoted to the singular mission. And you are all the living testament to their reach and great partnerships to grow and enlighten multiple generations of peace-loving global citizens who will never give up on this noble dream of peace. Although these current times and crises are disheartening, we know that there is hope on the horizon. The great hope resides in your hearts, your work, your support, and your ongoing commitment to save all life on earth. We have inherited the great vision of one family under our universal creator, our heavenly parent, and we must unite as global brothers and sisters to ensure the path to peace everywhere, and no woman, child, or man shall be left behind. We have been given the greatest inspiration by our co-founder, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, on what path this world must take to ensure peace for all life on earth. Please join us in our co-founders' collective peace projects, fundraisers for humanitarian and environmental aid, our education and relief campaigns, our programs and membership events. And please join, donate, share, serve, and support us in person and online and on social media. Together, let us all as women heal and restore this earth back to balance with true love, compassion, care, and prosperity for all life on earth. As this year comes to a close, I'd like to thank all of the WFWPI leaders, members, and guests for your hard work and your extraordinary support. As we approach the new year, I wish you all tremendous success, health, and prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunjin Moon. And now, before moving on to the next program, I would like to invite Ms. Grace Kisile, the MC for the next special program. Grace works as the International Administrator for the WFWPI UN office in New York.
Thank you, Najat. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Carolyn Hansen. We would like to pay tribute to her on the occasion of her retirement after 12 years of dedicated service as International Vice President in Europe. Mrs. Hansen studied biology at Thomas More University in Kentucky and worked as a desert guide in the Southwest USA and a researcher before coming to Switzerland to join her husband. She had led a series of character-building educational programs for students in Geneva that led to her joining WFWPI soon after its launch in 1992. Since her appointment
As an IVP for WFWP in Europe in 2010, Mrs. Hansen has been overseeing program development throughout the 22 national chapters in Europe and is currently also the spokesperson for the Middle East and Eurasian subregions. She has been representing international NGOs at the United Nations since 1993. In 1998, she was appointed to create a team to represent WFWPI at the UN ECOSOC affiliated bodies in Geneva. In 2021, she was elected as president of the NGO Committee on the Status of Women at the UN in Geneva. And Mrs. Hansen makes the efforts to forward the message of peace based on the co-founders' teachings to the United Nations and influencing global leaders to connect with the vision of one family under God, and continues to inspire women leaders and members in the European region. Currently, she remains in the position of Director of the Office for UN Relations, WFWP IVP, EU Senior Advisor, Board Member, and IAFLP Regional Coordinator for EUME. There are no words enough to express our gratitude and love to you, Mrs. Hansen, and for all your work on the international and regional levels. So we've prepared a special video for you. Please enjoy. Our beloved colleague and dear friend, Carolyn Hansen, we are honoring your 12 years of excellent service to WFWP as International Vice President in Europe and celebrating the legacy of hard work and commitment you leave behind. You're a true woman leader who's shown by example that excellence is something to aim for daily. Thank you for being a tireless professional, a reliable colleague, and a good friend. You're leaving this office, but your knowledge, insight, and wisdom will remain here forever. With deep appreciation and gratitude to you and your family, we hope you enjoy every minute of the new chapter of your life, and we look forward to continue working with you as the Director of Office for UN Relations, WFWP International Vice President, WFWP EU Senior Advisor, WFWPI Board Member, and IAFLP Regional Coordinator for Europe and Middle East.
존경하고 사랑하는 캐롤린 회장님, 그동안 유럽 IVP로 활동하시고 참 수고가 많으셨습니다. 유럽 IVP 회장으로서 캐롤린 회장님께서 노력과 전성으로 그 덕분에 많은 발달을 했습니다. 앞으로도 UN 사무국 국장으로서도 바로바로하게 활동해 주시기 바랍니다. 응원합니다. 사랑합니다.
Dear Carolyn, definitely WFWP Europe and the Middle East has advanced by leaps and bounds thanks to your leadership. We were able to give confidence, creativity to all our members and especially to the officers. Thank you very much.
Hi, Carolyn. Greetings from the United States. And congratulations on your last 10 years of incredible accomplishments through your leadership in Europe. I watched you from across the pond and sometimes in person, and it was always a joy and a pleasure to share with you. You're really an amazing woman leader for peace and for the world. So congratulations and best wishes for working more on the international level with the UN and far beyond. Really love you, support you, and wish you well.
안녕하세요. 캐롤린 회장님. 반갑습니다. 네, 바라보이는 이곳은 바로 북한 금강산에 바라보이는 통일 전망대입니다. 2007년 세계평화여성연합에 720명의 세계 여성들이 함께 모여서 남북 통일을 기원하며 함께 행사했던 그 때가 그리워서 이 시간 잠깐 이곳을 찾아서 함께 우리 회장님과 이 장소, 이 장면을 나누고 싶어서 이 자리를 선택했습니다. 그동안 세계평화여성연합에 유럽을 중심으로 한 유엔의 활발한 활동으로 인해서 캐롤린 회장님의 그 아름다운 희생과 사랑의 그 발걸음 덕분에 세계평화여성연합이 한층 더 업그레이드된 정말 전 세계적으로 인정받는 놀라운 쾌거를 이루어냈습니다. 이제 현장에서 잠깐 떠나지만 유엔에서 더 큰 무대에서 세계평화여성연합을 위해서 그리고 앞으로의 후진들을 위해서 더 많은 길을 열어주시고 많이 격려해 주시고 더 발전할 수 있는 그런 아름다운 길을 가시리라 정말 믿습니다. 그동안 고생 많이 하셨고요. 정말 수고하셨습니다. 사랑합니다. 감사합니다.
Hi, Carolyn. Congratulations on your victorious and extraordinary service and leadership as pioneer and president of Women's Federation for World Peace in Europe. Indeed, you have been an inspiring figure. You have blazed the trail and opened many doors of opportunities for all of the Women's Federation membership worldwide. On behalf of the UN office team here in New York, we offer to you our love and gratitude and our respect and best wishes for you. Now that you are going to be focusing more on the United Nations relations work and of the Women's Federation, I am incredibly confident that with your leadership, with your wisdom and love, with the guidance of heaven, we can bring ever more victory to our heavenly parents and true parents. The future is bright. Thank you, Carolyn, and congratulations again.
Our dearest Carolyn, on behalf of all the sisters of our Eurasian region, we would like to say that we love you very, very much. And you are a really beautiful, amazing example of love and dedication. We are so inspired by all your constant effort, and you never give up. And one time I asked you, what did you do when you had little babies? Did you have any break in your mission? And you just said, no, I just continued. And this is really amazing, so inspiring. Thank you so much. We wish you really a lot of luck. We wish you good health and heavenly fortune to your beautiful family.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Hansen. So now on behalf of WFWPI, we will be presenting an appreciation plaque. Originally, we were planning to deliver it to your home on time, but it is still on the way to your place. The award reads, with our greatest appreciation, presented to Mrs. Carolyn Hansen, for your unwavering support and unrelenting guidance in leading WFWP International with unconditional love and a heart of Hyojung to realize world peace. We honor you with deep appreciation and gratitude. Women's Federation for World Peace International, President Julia H. Moon, and Senior Vice President Sun Jin Moon. Congratulations and thank you very much. Earlier, we also sent a small gift and flowers to the house of Mrs. Hansen as a sign of deep appreciation. Now, I would like to give the floor to Mrs. Hansen to give her remarks. Please join me in a round of applause to welcome up Mrs. Hansen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm so moved, actually, even though I have to laugh when we say retirement because I don't feel like I'm retiring at all. The flowers are actually in the background. That's from you. Thank you so much. This beautiful bouquet of flowers. I am so honored, actually, to have been able to give my time and heart. I have to, maybe you noticed even my husband is on the call. He even went into a few of the breakout rooms because he is really my great supporter. He is the great, great supporter of the Women's Federation for World Peace and doesn't lose an opportunity to actually remind other leaders if they happen to forget us in some reporting or so. Yeah, anyway, all I can say is I am so grateful that I have this, true parents, our founders, the opportunity to be able to actually dedicate my life and develop myself through this amazing Women's Federation for World Peace. Through these years, which if I look back, I can see that God, even in fact, when I was about 7 years old, I had a dream already, even though it was even younger than that, I think. Well, I had a dream that I was speaking at the United Nations before I even knew what a United Nations was. And the first time I delivered a statement there, it just all came flooding back to me. Actually, God had somehow hoped that I would make all those choices, that I could go in that direction, and I'm sure God does the same for all of us. And it is really, I mean, nothing could be done without your amazing work in the, in the local chapters, which is actually my little UN report, I will say that. And, and of course, the guidance from heaven and the amazing encouragement from our founders who told us that we could do these things. And Father told us, at the founding, in 2012, when he said, he and Mother Moon said together, even though it was Father standing on stage, we know it was their speech, when they said to us that we have to try harder. I remember he said we have to come out of our basements, actually. And he said that, now is the time when women have to work together. We have to find like-minded women leaders to work together to influence governance on right priorities. That was the word that he said. And then he mentioned something also about character education. But I felt, if I look back in the history of the Women's Federation and even my own time in it, this is exactly what has been happening. At some point, we were building ourselves up in all of our grassroots work. And then at some point, I felt like in 2012, he said, not just come out of our basements, but actually come out of any kind of small-minded thinking that we have, that we are not so significant, or we can only influence locally or in a small way, and really try to, put all that training and talent together, and courage and strength that comes from, having a vision like we do, and really do our best to influence those who are making political decisions. And at the same time, of course, all those around us. But so anyway, I could just say I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for our leaders, Dr. Julia, Dr. Sunjin, all the amazing Women's Federation leaders in Europe. That, of course, I always felt that, even sometimes I felt like I was completely unnecessary as a Women's Federation Europe leader, because the team in Europe is so strong, and each and every nation, even within each nation, there is so much kind of harmony and balance and strength and vision, and each one is taking off to new dimensions. And I'm so happy for Mitty, because I know Mitty will do a fantastic job. With each new leader, God focuses maybe a little bit differently on things, and she will, of course, use her amazing capacities and talents to take us many, many steps further and together. And so anyway, just closing there, saying thank you so much to all of you. Thank you to heaven and to God. And I'm so grateful, actually so grateful that I can serve in some way. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Hansen, for those wonderful words. And we're so grateful for you too. We're proud to work together with you, Mrs. Hansen, and we appreciate your contribution to WFWP. We wish you and your family every success in your future endeavors. Now, I would like to give the stage back to Najet.
Thank you very much, Grace. Before moving on to the next big part of the program, we're actually going to receive a very special entertainment from the Universal Ballet, Miri Negil, Pas de deux. So, Korea Emotion is a new work by Universal Ballet's artistic director, Yoo Bing-hwan, presented at the 2021 Korea Ballet Festival. It's a ballet that incorporates Jung, a unique Korean emotion that everyone can relate to. The choreographer interpreted Jung as one of the most complex human emotions, such as love and hatred, two opposite yet inseparable emotions. Jung is used as a motive to highlight the fact that Korean people are highly sensitive and emotionally delicate, which brings forth this strength that is born from this very Jung. The song Jung is excerpted from the Daeul project. This project was released by the well-known Korean drama composer and music director of the geographical area for the globalization of Korean music, and will be used as the basis for this piece. The dance that will be performed to the song is called My Way in Advance, and it is a two-person dance, pas de deux, that symbolizes a wife's nostalgia for her deceased husband. Please enjoy. Wow, that was a very, very beautiful performance and quite profound as well. So next, we're going to have WFWP IQH, a video about the WFWP IQH that will share the activities and projects that they've been doing.
Juan, wala nakaupo.
Right in the eye, that you say
Thank you for the video. And I would like to invite Dr. Marta Carvalho to give a report about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My greetings to all participants. And let me say that with emotion, I would like to thank Dr. Carolyn Hansen for the great work she did in Europe with all of us. I also would like to greet our founder, co-founder, Dr. Hakshahan Moon. It's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you the 3rd anniversary book project. Thank you for coming to this precious program of WFWP International General Assembly. My name is Marta Carvalho, and I am the president of WFWP Portugal and one of the editorial members of WFWPI 3rd anniversary book project as well. On behalf of the team, I would like to present how the book project started, progressed, and was finally completed. This project was initially by WFWP International in early 2021 as one of the major projects to mark the 3rd anniversary of WFWP. Dr. Moon called for volunteers to help in the creation of this book. The team, the main purpose of creating this book is to document the main activities of WFWP and stories of WFWP members who are continuously working in the field with full commitment and dedication. Dr. Moon hoped that through this project, not only will leaders and members be empowered and united, but it will also be used as an educational and historical tool for students, researchers, and leaders of other NGOs in the future. The project began in January 2021 and took approximately 18 months to be completed. A total of 10 people from each country then gathered for first editorial team meeting. This team brainstormed and shared ideas about the content, structure, and design of the book. The team then met once or twice a month, depending on the volume of work and intensity of content. It was a great team effort, full of energy and creativity. It was a real fun and pleasure to focus on one international project with a variety of people from different cultures, backgrounds, and ages. Once the content framework was set, we contacted WFWP leaders and members and asked them to send us their precious stories and personal experiences with the WFWP. We were amazed and inspired at the volume of stories and work that women have done and continue doing in different parts of the world, and all centered around one big vision set forth by the co-founders of WFWP. We also included congratulatory messages from VIPs, introduction of the co-founders, memories of the late leaders, and articles about different cultures. It turned out to be a very comprehensive book filled with valuable story of WFWP. Another challenge was project financing. Initially, the total budget for the project was estimated at $195,510 USA dollars. However, Dr. Moon created a fundraising opportunity with help from international presidents. We were able to find sponsors to help us to produce the book. Also, thanks to volunteers who worked for a grit to realize this project. This was also a difficult but interesting experience, combined with in-kind donations and money raised through sponsorships and pre-orders. The total project income was $124,620 USA dollars. Here, on behalf of the editorial team, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our sponsors, leaders, members, and friends who contributed to this international project. Thanks to all of you, we were able to make our shared dream a reality. The use of the sponsorship and reservation funds raised can be found here. The total cost of the universal book production was $46,464 USA dollars. Also, this year, in honor of the 30th anniversary, WFWPI created volunteer badges and plaques of appreciation to be sent to WFWP leaders, members, and partners. The grand total expenses were $54,322 USA dollars. In September, WFWP was finally able to print and ship the book to various locations around the world. We believe that most of you have already received our books, but if you did not, don't worry, they are still on the way to you. Another important aspect of this book is that it is made from recycled paper and printed with soil ink, which shows that this project is very environmentally friendly. Also, by adding an ISBN, the book can now be sold or stored in libraries. Additionally, we converted the book into an ebook and plan to upload it to our website as well. I would like to conclude my presentation here by taking the opportunity to thank the International President, Dr. Julia Moon, and Senior Vice President, Dr. Sanji Moon, for initiating this great international project that brings the leadership and membership of WFWP together. I also want to thank our beloved Secretary General, Dr. Paris Moon, for amazingly organizing and guiding the editorial team with creative leadership and wisdom. We know that she was in front line in very strong wish to do this project and conclude. Last but not least, thank you for the editorial.
Oh, Dr. Marta, you're on mute at the moment. If you could unmute yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention. And I hope that all of you can still be with us today in this very good program of General Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marta, for all the hard work you did put in. We can see that it's actually a lot of effort and thought that's put into printing these books out and sending them out. So really, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you. So the next representatives for the WFWPI UN offices will give the report on the activities and projects from the WFWPI UN offices. Please welcome Ms. Carolyn Hansen and Ms. Merle Barlan.
Thank you. And Miss Dr. Maria Riel, also from Vienna. Okay, I will share my screen. And okay, I think you can see that, right? So these are the three main offices: New York, Geneva, and Vienna. But our team has been growing. We have also a representative in Latin America, Maria Gabriela, and also recently we have a new representative from Africa, Afi, and I want to say thank you to them, to both of them. So what we are just covering a few months with this very small PowerPoint, but our main theme, and even as Sanjanim was speaking about this too, is the way we feel like we're really moving ahead very quickly is in the area of advocacy and impact, and especially this mediation between the UN governments and our chapters. So I give the floor to Merle for a few minutes, and then to Dr. Riel. Merle?
Thank you, Carolyn. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to our international President and Secretary General, and to all our Women's Federation leaders and sisters worldwide. Thank you. Just a couple of events that I'd like to highlight for the last 6 months at the United Nations is our participation at the high-level political forum. That was held in July, summer this year. And the theme is permaculture, a universal hopeful practice for building back better. And we discussed on the urgent environmental issues, inspiring the global community leaders actually on the climate adaptation initiatives. And so Women's Federation would like to bring this issue and in terms of supporting the United Nations in its goal of by 2050 of net zero. And we believe that the permaculture and working together in partnership with government is the best way forward. And we had we work with experts and in partnership with the Regenesis Project, and we had the Colombian University professor, and we also co-sponsored with the World Council for Psychotherapy and International Association of Applied Psychology. And we are grateful that our International Vice President, Dr. Sanjin Moon, joined us, and with government leaders from Austria. And Carolyn, thank you so much for always supporting us and guiding us through this whole process. And another event that we would like to highlight also was the most recent. I wonder if we could move on to the next slide. But it's the UN Dream, as Sanjani mentioned earlier in her opening remarks. The 77th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. The purpose of the United Nations is to prevent the scourge of war, to maintain, to achieve peace and development. And 77 years fast forward, here we are faced with tremendous challenges. And so we would like to celebrate this. We celebrated actually this day with the addressing the issues of child marriages, the intersection between child marriages and climate change, being the poverty and women and girls being the victims of climate change, and the child marriage is exacerbated by the factors caused by climate change. And it was a really good discussion. We had Dr. Sala, the former Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations. We had Dr. Yakubi, and with Carolyn Hansen, and with the UNAMA president, United Nations African Mothers Association, and with Africa. This time we want to highlight Africa. And we also, I think one of the most exciting part of this program was we awarded 3 Global Women Peace Ambassador, and they're young women from Africa. And so with them, we look forward for the a great future collaboration and working in partnership with these 3 great women from Senegal, from Uganda, and from Kenya. And yeah,
thank you, Marley.
Thank you.
Maria. You are muted, Maria. We have to be a little bit careful with the time. We have,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Greetings from UN Office Vienna. We did twice very successful side event in our work in crime prevention. Especially, we can advocate for our good project. First of them was on May 20th, Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice side event with the topic Strengthening Family Relations as a Means of Crime Prevention. We worked together with the embassies of Philippines and Cambodia, and also with a man from United States who supported his wife when she went to the mission fields with the Japanese missionaries in the year 1994. Mr. Patrick Erlandson, when he encouraged the role of parents and also fathers in educating children. The second one was now in October 20th, again the transnational organized crime at the United Nations. It was the 11 United Nations Transnational Organized Crime Conference of the state parties, and we could apply for side event with the title Preventing Crime through encouraging a healthy and sustainable lifestyle for young people. We were very happy to work together with International Association of Youth and Students for Peace, and we could also work with our governmental representative from Austrian government with an international project, Green Care, how we can promote agricultural or life on the country, that people stay healthy and they can work properly and they can enjoy the life. So this was our two side events with big support of Carolyn, and we are happy that we can work together and we can continue to work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is really just over a couple of months. We have so much breaking news happening actually at our UN office. So I wanted to just mention about, it's something that just was actually done in the last week and a half, in fact. We have brought a group of young people from actually 4 different regions to Geneva for 3 days. And we signed them up to participate in the UN Human Rights Council Social Forum. The man with his head circled, he is the chair of the expert mechanism. And he actually, within our UN team in Geneva, which is myself and Shruti, she has been working with him as a staff member for this expert mechanism. So this is Shruti in the middle here. She is really a great, knowledgeable and wonderful assistant and partner, actually, of our work in Geneva. So we have organized different programs, like we have a Human Rights Council, a Human Rights internship program over the last year and a half, where young people come in and write academic, like thesis almost, about the human rights issues that they're passionate about. Usually it's something that is happening around them. And then we give them the opportunity to present them to a wide public, and also to be able to use their work to write statements or for studies and things that we can pass on to the UN. This top picture here is our office in Geneva. And this was the training that we gave to this group of young people before they went to the UN last week, because almost each one of them could give a statement at the Human Rights Council. So we had to train them a little bit what is our way of, relating to the UN and governments, even when we want to chastise them. So it was really quite an amazing thing. This is our journal. This was the outcome. Each time this internship it happens, then there is this journal. So this is just shows related to our participation in some of these meetings, especially these two: the Committee on the Right to Development, the Expert Committee on the Right to Development, and also this mechanism. We actually have been participating in these over several years, and it's all connected to our work with the SDGs, especially, of course, right to development, the Sustainable Development Goals. So what we're doing is we're really going deep inside with the governments to really help them to understand how we can, how important it is that civil society bring back their expertise, their local expertise to their work, so that we can, in this case, we're codifying actually some of their work on this committee. Also, this showing here, maybe just very quickly, this is within the reports from these different meetings, Human Rights Council meetings. Women's Federation has quite often been quoted for some of the statements that we've been making, and even the chair of the meeting last week took a minute at the end of the meeting to say how grateful he was for the work of Women's Federation, actually, to bring in other NGOs, to bring in young people, and also to stay really attuned and keeping our attention on their work. This is just something you can quickly look at. I don't have to say it. It's mainly about, to you, our chapters globally, that it is really because of your programs and your projects that we remain relevant. Encouraging you to actually go further than just make reports, but actually make real case studies with statistics and analysis of the things you're doing that you can send to us, because it's much more credible to the governments and to the UN if we can present our work in that way. Please try to get involved more in your government's policies and pledges. You have to a little bit learn their language, but if you can really try your best to bring always your report to your governments, and to feel responsible to bring feedback to all the decisions that they're making. So happy to represent you at the United Nations, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Merle, Maria, and Carolyn, for sharing all of the important work that you've all put together. Thank you very much. And we're about to go on a short break, but before that, I want to brief you on the next program that we'll be having after the break. So there will be a healing meditation session with Dr. Isabel Costa, and she is a professional therapist. And I really recommend not missing out on this session, because it is really empowering and will help you clear your mind and heart. And after the meditation, we'll have time for the leaders to share their experiences and the best practices in the field. So I would like to close the first part of the program, and we're going to have a 10-minute break. So we will see you back in 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hello, Lily.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very good. So welcome back. Okay. Welcome back to part 2 of the WFWP General Assembly. My name is Lily Gundaka, and I will be moderating the second part of today's event. I am a retired international civil servant, a consultant and motivation trainer for people who want to work at the UN. I was born in Australia and am now living in Austria with my husband of over 40 years, and I support WFWP at the UN. The next program is the meditation session. I would like to ask everyone to check that your audio is turned off. So make sure that the microphone has got the red line through it. And I'd like to invite our meditation session therapist, Dr. Isabel Costa. Dr. Costa is a happiness consultant at the individual level and in groups.
Didn't hear that. Somebody is going to have a meditation.
Microphone. And at the organizational level. She is the author of 2 books on healthy eating and co-organizer of the Multidisciplinary Congress in partnership with Con Medida on healthy eating, with 1 or 2 annual editions, bringing together professionals from various areas of health and the country for 6 years. She is the creator and trainer of the Holistic Nutrition course, teaching at the Institute of Traditional Medicine since 2014. Dr. Isabel Costa.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each one of you. I'm very grateful and honored to be with each one of you here. So I will just talk very shortly about what we are going to do. This is a meditation of the inner child. We all carry baggage from our childhood, from our ancestors. Many times we carry painful memories that are passed on generation through generation. So in this meditation, we are going to take care and love our inner child. Even if you feel that you had a wonderful childhood, which I wish you had, still you can use this meditation to give more love and more confidence to your inner child. The imagination is really a greatest tool of healing. So we can use it in our favor. So many times we have thoughts that create fear and anxiousness in our lives. And many times nothing is happening. It's just what's going on inside of our mind. So we can use our mind in our favor to really heal us and to liberate ourselves also from many beliefs that we carry within us. So I also ask you, please keep your sound unmuted, as this is very important for all of you. And let's start. Please sit comfortably. If you like, you can take off your glasses and make sure there is no noise where you are. So close your eyes. Inhale and exhale smoothly and deeply. Breathe in peace, harmony, tranquility, and breathe out all the worries of this day. And let's do 2 or 3 gentle and deep breaths. I am safe and secure, and I let go. And now, let's relax your feet and your legs. You are safe and protected. You don't need to defend yourself anymore. Relax the hands and the arms, the shoulders, the neck, the head, and all the muscles in your face. And the eyelids are more and more heavy, and the joint of the mouth is more relaxed. Let's relax all the muscles of the back, calming at the same time the whole central nervous system, relaxing vertebra by vertebra in the cervical area, in the dorsal, the lumbar, the sacrum, and the coccyx. Let's relax all the muscles in the chest, the abdomen, the whole pelvic area. You are totally safe, protected, relaxed. And now, I would like you to imagine yourself in a beautiful garden, just for you. Feel yourself barefoot in the grass, and the contact of your feet with that grass. Feel the fragrance of the flowers that are in that garden. Feel a gentle breeze of the wind and the mild warmth of the sun that releases any remaining tension. And continuing there in that garden, let's relax more deeply. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And when you reach 1, you will be totally relaxed. 10, relaxing more and more. 9, more and deeper. 8, 7, 6, 5, more relaxed. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now, let's travel back in time. You are totally safe and protected. And you are going to imagine yourself on a beach. This beach is just a long sandy beach. The sand is white and fine. The sea is calm. The water is crystal clear and warm. We are close to the sunset, and in the distance comes a tiny child, the child you were. This little boy or little girl that you were is coming towards you. Remember how you were when you were little. And when this child is next to you, look deep into her or his eyes. Connect with the heart of that child and say to her inwardly, I am your grown-up version, and I took this trip back in time just to come to you, because you are the most important person in my life, and I love you very much. How does that child feel listening to this? She might be surprised. She might be suspicious. She may be happy. Let her know that everything is okay and that she can trust you. And with you, she's totally safe. You can hold her in your arms if she's little. She's a little bigger. You can hug her and always tell the child that she can let out all the pain that she has stored in her heart. She's safe now. She may need to cry. Let her cry and hold her with all your care and love. In your arms. She's not judged or criticized, but fully supported and loved. Let her feel your love. You can also give her a gift, whatever she likes. It may be a toy, or sometimes she just wants your hug. It is whatever she wishes. Make her feel how precious she is. And now you can tell her that you can go to play for a while together. You can make castles in the sand, swim a little, or splash in the water. You can run along the beach or play with a ball. Whatever it is, this moment is just for this child and you. Take a few moments for this play and give all the joy, all the love, all the attention to your child. Now, ask her if she would like to fly with you, remembering that you are totally safe and protected, and there are no limits to imagination. So the child wants. So take her hand and imagine that you are flying together. Feel the freedom, the breeze of the wind, and how wonderful it is to make this journey together. Fly for a while. When you finish to fly, you will take your child back to the garden where you were in the beginning. In that garden, you hold your child in your arms and tell her, I love you very much. I am very proud of you. You are wonderful. I want to take care of you and be with you forever and protect you in every situation. And do you want to be with me forever? And yes, the child wants. So you embrace her with all your love. And in that embrace, her little heart merges into yours and your heart into hers. And the two become one in that garden. Now the child is inside you, loved, protected, confident, safe. Feel it. Feel her inside of you, totally safe and protected and loved. And now you are going to put this image of the two of you united as one into your heart. Imagine that you bring that image to your heart. You can even put your hands in your heart and feel it even deeper and deeper. Right here and now. Now with all this love and care, let this energy of love, of safety, security, care, protection, expand from your heart into your chest and into your whole body. From now and forever, your child is safe and secure and deeply loved just as she is. And you can bring this love and this confidence to your life from now on. And now, let's come back to this day. I'm going to count from 1 to 10, and only when I say 10, you can open your eyes. 1, feeling your feet and legs. 2, feeling your hands and arms. 3, feeling your shoulders, your neck, and your head. 4, feeling all the muscles in your face. 5, feeling all the muscles in your back. 6, feeling all the muscles in your chest. Breathing deeply, integrating this new energy into you from now and forever. 7, feeling your abdominal and pelvic muscles. 8, fully integrated into your body. 9, back to this place, this day, and this time. 10, you can slowly open your eyes and look at the screen. Thank you very much.
Dr. Isabel Costa, thank you. What an amazing meditation. Everybody, please come back. And I hope we'll have the recording that we can do that again. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Next, introduction on program. Now we will start the presentation on the best practices from the fields. WFWP leaders will be sharing their experiences in developing the projects and activities in their regions and nations. We will ask all our presenters to screen share their own presentations by themselves, and please keep your presentation time. So, presentation funding project, WFWP Australia. The first presenter is Mrs. Anne Bellevance, who is the International Vice President of the Asia Pacific II region. Mrs. Bellevance will share her experience with the WFWPI funding project. How did she plan and implement the program locally, and what were the benefits and challenges of the project? Thank you very much, Anne. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Lily. It's nice to see you again, an old Aussie. So hopefully towards the end, we'll be able to have some questions. So if you can put your questions in the chat group, I might be able to see it at the end when I unscreen share. So first of all, I'd like to thank WFWPI for starting the program of giving grants and the initiative from Paris Moon for this to happen, because I think without her initiative to make it happen, it wouldn't have happened. But I want to be real. The funding for this project, our GWPN project, didn't cover the expenses that incurred and didn't cover the hundreds of hours of investment into the project by our volunteers and myself. But it did allow us to make one aspect of the project more beautiful, and for the GWPN assembly, and we were able to make show bags, professional show bags, to give to them, and also to have really nice honorariums for the speakers and lunch and paid for the venue. So it paid for things to make it much more professional for everyone. And I'd like to thank all of our volunteers for in all the capacity that they work towards to make this project. So the GWPN basically covers these areas for the Sustainable Development Goals. And you'll see how through this project, because the project is actually multifaceted. It's not just an assembly that we created, because we wanted to create something that was real and tangible and fitted into making a difference for people. So I'll go into that in a little while. So before I actually applied for the grant, we were working at developing the Global Women's Peace Network in our region, and I applied for skilled volunteers to come on board, and we got a project manager, and the project manager guided us over a 9-month period, and many of our regional sisters, leaders from the nations, came on board with this throughout the process. And we went through training on logic mapping to look at what the problem is in reality, what the benefit is for us in doing the project, therefore what's our response and what's our solution. So we went through this process, and it required a lot of research to look locally what is the problem for women's issues. And of course, GWPN is looking at women leaders, and there are 3 areas, which is women's leadership, family, and the environment. So we decided to focus on women's leadership. So in women's leadership, what is the issue? And we all know what the issue is for women worldwide, is that they don't have access to leadership pathways, and they're not represented fully on boards and in leadership. And there are a lot of reasons why, but I'm not going to go into that. So that was one problem that is well documented, and there was a lot of research. So in Australia, we're not as bad as many other countries, but still in the leadership position, and especially the C-suite, which is the high CEOs, there's underrepresentation. And the other problem is the lack of framework based on universally shared values, limits inclusive governance, and male and female leaders' ability to partner. So the lack of values in that leadership. So during this process, we also worked with the Society of Program Managers, and they always have a day of where they give back in society. And in Australia, since the beginning that they have been doing this every year, we've actually done a project with them. So you get given people in the area that you want to develop with that expertise. So this was during COVID. We sat down with them, obviously, via Zoom, and they put together with us and nutted it out a whole project plan, a very, very comprehensive project plan, which incorporated this logic mapping. So what the problem statement we came up with and tweaked was lack of access to leadership pathways results in women's underrepresentation and lack of diversity in leadership roles. And our solution to solve this was sharing compelling stories of successful women leaders and developing mentoring partnerships between established and emerging leaders. So now you can see how this isn't just a one-off event. It's a whole network of activity, which is what the GWPN is. So what we then did, this document is a one-pager, like a big picture overview of our project plan, actually. So what are the resources and inputs that we need to make the project work and succeed? So we need to connect and network with community leaders, local politicians, and emerging leaders. Set up a committee from diverse backgrounds to organize the event, source grants to fund the project, develop media posters and social media campaigns, secure the venue and infrastructure to run the event. And then we nutted out the strategies and goals to accomplish
What are the resources and inputs that
and advance the project's mission, what the outputs are to gauge if we were successful or not, and then what are the outcomes that we want to achieve over the short term, the midterm, the long term. So we've now been doing this project for 2 years. And I think the first year when we did the project, it was quite successful. Now this doesn't want to go down. For some reason, my screen doesn't want to go to the next one. Maybe if I do that. Yes. All right. So the first component was to develop the GWPN assembly. And it being a forum for transformative leadership. So obviously for us, it's all about creating a culture of heart. So it's a different aspect of leadership, using those soft power skills, and something that's very innately familiar to us as women. But then in the competition, in corporate environments, often women feel like they have to be somebody different, or they have to be like a man or compete, whatever. So the focus was really on that leadership of the heart, so transformative style. So we launched it in 2021. It was a virtual one. And we invited emerging leaders and established leaders. And through that process, in developing the GWPN, I set up our WFWP Australia website. I put GWPN on our website, made the pages quite extensive in explaining what global friends are, what global partners are, what the assembly is about, and what our Leading into the Future Mentor program is about. And then I developed our WFWP Australia LinkedIn page, focusing on Australian leaders. So it wasn't just anybody who could, who I was connecting with on that. They were leaders and not managers and not coordinators. So they were really the higher leadership. And at the moment, we have 935 followers on that page after 2 years. So when you have a page like that, it's not like having your personal page. So my goal is to get over 1,000, and then I think it's going to build up that momentum. So then that meant we also needed to start building global friends. building strong relationships with women leaders. And in Australia, we had already started partnering with quite a few like-minded organizations, and we gave it a different name, but now with Global Friends, we changed it to Global Partners, so that we build this partnership with organizations. We serve them and they work with us, and there are benefits that they receive from that. So these pictures are from our assembly that we had just this year, and some of the speakers, and really awesome speakers that are women leaders who really connect with that leadership of the heart, and really, and also working with our committee. So our committee members were actually Global Friends, and they were women leaders. So 2 years we've had 2 different committees. I think for our next year we'll have the same committee. And then the mentoring program was the second aspect. So this was the project where we thought we could really make a difference to mentor young women leaders to have the courage to be who they are and to take on that leadership. So the program goes for 6 months. It's still going. So it actually starts from the assembly for 6 months. So for us, it's going to finish in January. And these are all volunteers, so women leaders who mainly I have been able to find through our LinkedIn page. So advertising through the LinkedIn page for people to come on board, become a friend, global friend, and be part of this mentoring program. And it's really amazing how many women see the need of raising up the next generation of women leaders, and how I've been able to get the emerging leaders is through advertising, the opportunity at universities, and also connecting with a couple of people through LinkedIn who've been able to advertise through their networks. So we developed posters and media through that. And this young lady here is one of our mentees. And through the mentees and mentors, we had a get-together virtually, just introducing the program. It's really up to them when they connect. And we have given them a document to guide them through short-term, long-term goals, etc., and working on values. And this year, based on feedback, we also have feedback. So we have a pre-survey because we want to get data of how effective we are. So there's a pre-survey before, and then a post-survey at the end. So this year we've been able to run workshops, and the workshops have been happening with our global friends, the women leaders. And we have just finished the 5th one, and I started the first one and talking about a new leadership paradigm using living for the sake of others, which is actually really powerful. And then I'll be finishing off in December, the very last workshop. And then we've been able to record those and then put them on our WFWP Australia LinkedIn page. So we've been able to connect sort of before linking with these women and creating the dialogue and the videos and building up the momentum that way.
Thank you, Anne. So you said the magic word, it's been recorded, and your goal to reach 1,000. Please give us the link to the LinkedIn. And we've got over 200, nearly 300 people here. So everybody who was inspired as I was about this presentation, just click on to the LinkedIn and watch the videos and connect. And we can see the work that WFWP worldwide is doing is so valuable, and 10 minutes can never do it justice. Thank you very much, Anne.
So,
Finish.
So what we've been able to do, just almost there, is branding, advocacy, working with global friends, global partners, and then also developing the Global Women Peace Ambassadors, who we've been able to give this year. And speakers have all focused on leadership of the heart. And then finally, the final one. Once again, for some reason, I can't.
We're going to have to stop you, Anne, because we've gone double the time.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The next presentation, Young Professionals. Take a breath, everybody. Change of topic somehow. The next presenter is Mrs. Kefilwe Lepebe. She is the leader of WFWPI Young Professionals team and will introduce the international network of young leaders, their activities and educative projects based on their creative and innovative ideas. Kefilwe, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily, for that wonderful introduction. Greetings to our honored guests, members, and leaders here today. I'm honored to be here to talk about the Young Professionals. The Young Professionals Committee was started in early 2021 at the peak of the pandemic lockdowns. The timing was good because people had time to meet virtually from their homes. People like me could come together with others to be part of a diverse team called the Young Professionals. We understood that the purpose of this committee was to form a think tank that could contribute to the organization and attract young people. With the guidance of Dr. Paris Moon and the support of Ms. Mion Sushiaka, we were able to establish an identity as well as support each other in different activities around the world. We met every month, shared ideas, started sustainable projects, and held successful webinars with guests from different parts of the world. The first year was filled with possibilities, and all that hard work paved way for 2022. Our first meeting this year, we had people of different ages, including a few young men. This meant that we had an even more diverse group of people. And though the world is getting back to normal, we are still able to get together to share ideas and organize events. In our regular meetings, we have those who attend consistently, as well as those who attend every now and then to contribute on topics that are of interest to them. This works well because it allows contributors to come when they are free without causing any disruptions. I will touch on a few activities. This year, we had several activities, including the virtual cafes and the webinar with a reoccurring theme of the role of young people in society. Members of our team also took part in the events of Women Federation International. For example, our 30th year anniversary celebration and the CSW 66 parallel event. Most of our young professionals are already active in their national chapters, and the committee aims to connect them to their peers. We've had experts from different parts of the world coming and sharing advice that helped us in our daily life. For example, in our virtual cafe in April, we had a fashion designer who gave good tips and showed that looking good is not limited to any age group. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. In the Southern Africa region, we gathered around 12 young ladies, ranging from university students to working professionals. Initially, they expressed how they were not sure if they were Women Federation material, but after understanding what the movement stands for, it became relatable and each person offered the time they had available. One of the highlights was having a medical doctor younger than the organization giving health tips during the region's weekly virtual gatherings. These contributions make a big difference because most of our members are volunteers, and it's important that no one feels burdened by the workload. In Europe and the Middle East, 5 women from 5 countries, including a former UN intern, were able to come together to form a social media team. They were brought together through different activities, including the recent Young Leaders Retreat in New York. Mrs. Lily Gundaka is sharing her knowledge, and this big group can do more together. The young professionals in the Philippines are part of the permaculture and literacy program on the island of Bohol. This project works to alleviate poverty that has been amplified by climate change. They work to help communities to be resilient by helping them to adapt. Through our virtual meetings and the retreat in New York, we were able to see how this type of project could also be suited for Africa, and we look forward to making this a reality. Our young professionals are all over the world, including America, Japan, and Korea, and they are working hard in their chapters. And with Women Federation reaching the 30-year mark, young people wonder if they can fill the shoes of our mothers who took our movement to greater heights. Our message to them is that everyone is welcome because each person is encouraged to use their unique talents and contribute to our movement. The efforts done on the local and regional levels are important because they nurture the future generation of leaders who will take Women Federation to even greater heights. I will end with a quote from Sir Isaac Newton. It says, "If I have seen a little further, it is standing by the shoulders of giants." Thank you to our senior leaders and everybody who made 2022 a great success.
Big applause for Kefilwe. Thank you so much for our youth. And thank you for standing on our shoulders. So inspiring. Next, presentation Hearts Intelligence. The last presenter is Dr. Susan Cornan, who is the International Vice President of the African region. She will share and discuss the WFWPI educational course, Emotional Intelligence. I'm the right one to introduce it. And share her personal experiences. Dr. Susan Corner, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lily. These are very precious moment. Greeting dear leaders and all our precious members from all over the globe. It's an honor for me to be given this chance to share about the Women Federation International Education, and especially the sessions on heart intelligence and the role in spiritual life. These sessions have been very empowering to us as leaders and also members in terms of our understanding of ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, and what we can do to improve ourselves in our daily lives and even our relationships and in our spiritual journey. Thank you, Women Federation International Headquarters leaders and also the staff for this initiative, and also to Dr. Costa Isabel, whose dedication goes beyond her line of duty, as she has also been helping many of our members by having counseling sessions outside the main scheduled lectures. Emotional intelligence enhances our understanding of ourselves and others, and thus creates a new sphere of thought systems and new reactions to our surroundings and our relationships. It's amazing how self-understanding and consciousness deepen our understanding of the cause of being, and we as the resultant being, and help us to tap positive energy, hope, faith, trust, forgiveness, self-appreciation, new aspirations, even amidst many challenges and disagreeable environments. Personally, I had some very good experiences in terms of deepening of relationships, interpersonal relationships with certain close family members, and especially one particular one who has the trace of being judgmental and skeptical to most people who have related closely with her. In most cases, this kind of person, we all find it more safe and comfortable to avoid them and have very little contact unless absolutely necessary. For years, I realized that wherever I go, I always kind of meet at least one person who had similar character and traits. And since I did not confront this challenge, I realized that I always tried to escape from confronting this kind of people and felt more better just to avoid them, just for my own comfort. After going through these lectures, I felt obligated to go beyond my own comfort zone and confront my own relationship with her using another more objective approach and not to play victim. I determined to win over her, to control my emotions for a better relationship, however challenging. I prayed a lot about it. It also happened that this person fell sick and needed assistance. So I used that opportunity to serve unconditionally and to be helpful despite past disappointments, and tried my best not to react negatively in case of any kind of negative energy. I'm so delighted by the result, as that I do not have to avoid her. And even I no longer feel uncomfortable around her, as I have mastered my own emotions towards her and always try to find something positive about her. Many of my close family members are wondering what actually happened, as everything seemed to melt. And I even managed to connect them towards her, and they are all slowly coming along and supporting her. The secret is how to balance the emotional intelligence and create a peaceful space within oneself, which, if learned with time and with deliberate efforts, can change one's thought patterns and even changes the one perceives the world. This kind of small efforts and small steps can lead to unblocking so many undesired feelings and emotional baggages which hinder us from moving forward. I also learned about how not to be overwhelmed by anxiety and feeling of hopelessness by communicating.
Whoops, we don't hear anything anymore and seems to be frozen. Is that an internet issue? I don't see any
I think it's an internet issue. Normally, sometimes Africa, we have this, so maybe you can.
We have a few seconds to do some deep breathing meditation and send some good vibes to Africa. No, maybe she's going to come back in again. So let us think about the situation in Africa and hope that we can soon welcome Susan Cornet back to complete her presentation. And failing that, perhaps the, yes, Susan, please continue.
Sorry,
Thank you very much.
For some reason, the lights, we are in Africa, the lights have just disappeared. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So I have also learned about how not to be overwhelmed by anxiety and feeling of hopelessness by communicating to the original being God through my inner self by way of prayer, meditation, and even just simple talk. It's amazing that we can actually share anything with God, who is our cause of being, without any need of a ceremony or any particular setting. This enlightenment through this education has given me a new way of seeing myself and healing the inner self, which is the real self. This has also proved to attract positive energy from the universe as quite a number of positive divine interventions have happened in my life, which have helped me to break a vicious cycle and have given me new pathways and inner peace. The result is a more fulfilled self with a positive outlook to life and to others, and a heart full of compassion to other people's situation and circumstances. On a personal level, I'm so grateful for this initiative and for this cause. I have this cause and have taken an initiative in encouraging others to participate for them also to benefit from this empowering knowledge. We look forward to the coming sessions in this month of November and encourage everyone for us to look out for their coming programs. Thank you very much, and sorry for these lights, they just disappeared, but God bless you.
Thank you, Susan. You certainly showed us your emotional intelligence, zero anxiety, just come back and continue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'd like to close our 2022 WFWPI General Assembly by inviting our International President once again to give us short closing remarks.
Oh boy, what a wonderful General Assembly. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I want to thank our Secretary General Paris Moon and Mion, and all of our speakers and MCs, and especially our translators for making this possible. I would like to just say once again to Carolyn, thank you, and we love you. And actually, I wouldn't use the word retirement either. Retirement is the furthest word from my mind when I think of this transition, because it's more for me a more focused work, as well as preparing the next generation. So also the word retirement is retire. That means you change tires and you keep going. So we're not, retirement is not in our vocabulary. So Carolyn Hansen, our dear Carolyn, is not retiring. She has so much work to do, important work, incredible work, and she's a very hard act to follow, Carolyn. So we need you, and we look forward to all the work that you're doing at the United Nations. And as you mentioned, it would be great if we could get our local chapters to do more with their government. And then for this, I think perhaps some kind of educational program that would help our leaders in the field in your respective countries, in your chapters, to learn how you can work and influence the government and work with the UN offices in learning and communicating and making this happen. So I hope that in 2023 we can create some of those kind of programs. The presentation about the 30th anniversary book was wonderful, and I thank everybody, all the team who worked on making this book possible. I think it was a incredible 18 months of hard work, and a lot of love went into that book. So thank you very much. Presentation by our UN offices is very exciting, and we can see how you're moving forward in creating more impact and influence in the UN and in the governments. Thank you for our best practices, our presenters. I think we can help each other and learn from each other, benchmark. The young professional team is really wonderful. We're so happy to have you with us, and we look forward to seeing you become giants. Yes, that's the next step. So once again, thank you. And again, the meditation, I was in tears actually when I met my little child. It was very healing, and I hope that we can have more sessions like this. Thank you so much for that wonderful, calming, healing session. I think even though it was one short 20-minute session, I think it will stay with us for a long time throughout our life. So my inner child is now inside of me. So thank you so much for this wonderful session. And I wish you all continued health. The end of the year is coming soon. We have about a month and a half left for this year of 2022. I hope that the year will all be, you will all be more productive, and all the things that you're trying to achieve will be done accordingly and the way you would like to see them done, with great achievements. And most of all, most importantly, stay healthy. Here in Korea, Corona is again, number of Corona patients is going up again. But then again, another person once said to me, the best way to not get Corona is not take the test. So if you don't take the test, you don't know you have it. It's becoming like the common cold here. So in any case, be careful. In Africa doesn't get too cold, but in the cold countries here in Korea, it's getting cold. Stay healthy. I wish you all good health, greater success in all your work, greater impact in your communities and in your nation. And our one artistic director, who was the former artistic director of the Mariinsky Ballet in Russia, one of the things he would always say was onward and upward. So thank you once again for an incredible year of love and sacrifice and dedication in 2022. And may 2023 even be better as we go onward and upward. Thank you very much. I love you and 사랑합니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia Moon, every presenter, every leader, every participant. Can you please all make sure you turn your camera on? Let's just get a screenshot with everybody in the gallery view. And I'll just finish my comments and invite you to unmute your microphone in case you want to say something before the recording stops, because I noticed I can't copy the chat, which I would have loved to have done, but there is the recording on YouTube. So thank you all very, very much. Now I'm officially closing our WFWPI General Assembly for the 12th of November, 2022. Thank you to our WFWP leaders, members and friends for joining us today. It was for sure an empowering time and event for all of us. Have a great day and night, and let's take a screenshot. Thank you. Love you all.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias, muito obrigada.
Thank you.
Muito obrigada.
Thank you very much.
Muito obrigada.
Gracias. Thank you so much.
Muchísimas gracias.
Amazing.
Love you all.
So good to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Beautiful.
Success,
victory for everything.
Thank you, everyone, for your hard work. Coming, special guests. Bye-bye. Bye.
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 Christmas and Happy New Year.
Ciao, ciao.
Happy New Year.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
감사합니다. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
사랑합니다.
Love you, Julia.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Gracias. Gracias. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So much hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
so much, Lily.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah.
Love you, Zoe.
Bye.